Hello world, it's me, DoctorAinz, and today we're going to take a look at the newest Skullgirls mobile update, update 6.3.1. Funny thing is, it used to be 6.3.0, but I took so long to get to this, that is now 6.3.1. So whatever, let's just get right into it. So, as with every new update moving forward, we got new fighters, new monthly fighters. Also talk about laziness, we got standing still, winning, taunting, standing still. Whatever, let's just take a look at what they can do, what they bring to the table, and you know, how good they actually are. So first we have Palace Plunderer. This lady, absolutely hideous card art. She gains evasion every 7 seconds and grants teammate a percentage of health every 5 seconds while not suffering a hit, and every so many combo hits. And while she's benefiting from a buff, she will transfer one opponent buff to self and grant teammates enrage for 30 seconds. So very long lasting enrages, but I don't think she's that strong actually. Definitely underwhelming, at least at first glance. She doesn't seem like brokenly good. Maybe after jumping through a million hoops you can make her work, but still you can safely skip her and not lose anything worthwhile. Up next we have Great Danger Squiggly. Amazing character art. Zombie Squiggly being referenced is always a win in my books. Now for her signature ability. Whenever you use a blockbuster while you're charged, you will convert all of your debuffs into blockbuster meter and also gain heavy regen. So this is what makes it a good but matchup dependent unit for rift battles. To top it off, when on the opponent's side of the stage, she will gain Deadeye and also inflict hiatus whenever she uses a blockbuster. So yeah, very blockbuster heavy dependent unit. As I already said, pretty matchup specific, but Squiggly already has built-in immunity, so you don't need to worry about blockbusted or stuff like that, or even hex maybe, even I guess. Also, since she's a diamond, a new age diamond, she gets a very neat special visual effect. So whenever she uses a blockbuster, all of the screen will go pixelated except for your fighters, and it looks absolutely horrible. At first I thought it was a glitch, but no, that's actually how it's supposed to look. It's pretty awful if you ask me. And also whenever she defeats an opponent, little green balls will drop out of them and she will absorb them. She's probably absorbing the souls of her opponents or something. This has absolutely no gameplay implications, so don't really worry about it. I wish there was a way to disable that. It's an absolute eyesore. Now we got Hell's Bell. So character art, card art, whatever. Pretty much because I don't think there's any significance in doing this. At least not that I know about. So whatever, what does matter is her signature ability. When the opponent's health is above 50%, she has a chance to inflict bleed on them for 5 seconds and a random debuff. Now the wording here may be a little bit confusing, especially because the devs can do anything right, but only the bleed is timed. Only the bleed has a duration. The random debuff that she also inflicts whenever she triggers her signature ability is timeless. So if you hit them enough, you can pretty much have all debuffs in the entire game stacked on a single fighter. Also, every 10 seconds as the active fighter, she will grant her teammates miasma for a couple of seconds and evasion. Once again, the wording can be a little bit confusing, but only miasma is timed. The stack evasion will be indefinite. So yeah, if you can't already tell, she's pretty much designed as a carry that should have an off carry behind her per se. So yeah, she doesn't seem that strong, especially in solo play per se. You know, I will say if you're gonna play her, try your best to have an off carry or a second carry to sweep whatever she may have missed, or even, you know, or even finish off your opponent, because after they drop below 50% health, she pretty much has no signature ability, no offensive or attacker signature ability per se. Over here we have a Diamond Defender, Robo Fortune Ray Image. I could have I could have sworn I've seen her before. Can't pinpoint where, but the devs are not very original people, so yeah, she's probably a reference to something else, just like everybody, just like everybody else. But yeah, I really like her character art, but personally, I believe she should have something different, because you look at the character art and then you see the head drones, and the first thought that comes to mind is, oh well, her signature ability is gonna be head drone dependent, but it's not. Her signature ability is whenever she gets hit by the first combo hit, weird wording there, but okay. She will convert one opponent buff into a random debuff and grant armor for herself, obviously, for a couple of seconds. Once again, matchup dependent, or rather she shuts down some matchups because, well, she's, as you can tell, a defensive variant. But that is not all, because she will also reduce the opponent's blockbuster meter by 100% whenever she detonates or is defeated. And on top of that, whenever she is defeated, she will resurrect once per match, obviously, with regen and enrage. Permanent, they're both permanent. So yeah, once again, at first glance, she doesn't seem too broken, too good. She's definitely not going to replace blue screen, but you have to keep in mind that she is not only a water variant, a diamond variant, and a Robo Fortune variant. So she is a diamond, water, Robo Fortune, a Robo Fortune, water variant, diamond thing. So yeah, definitely lots of synergy for her, especially as a defender. And as I said, I don't think she's going to replace blue screen, but she will most likely work alongside her. So yeah, definitely be worried about her. Moving on. Oh yeah, before I forget, her special diamond visual effect is that whenever she blocks, you know, she has like this little hologram that protects her. Yeah, that changes color rapidly. So yeah, it looks good in my opinion, but it's probably gonna give someone a seizure. So if you're sensitive to flashing lights, don't play against her, and don't play her. For last goal we have Formidable. Really raunchy character art, because over-sexualizing your characters, it's only good whenever you want to do it, but for her signature ability, charged attacks will grant immunity and precision. It may seem a little bit underwhelming, but here's the good part. Whenever she is benefiting from immunity, special move hits are unblockable, and whenever she is benefiting from precision, they also inflict inverse polarity for a couple of seconds. But yeah, as you can already tell, the combo that original people are gonna do is gonna be pair Formidable with Inner Pieces and with the Cerebella, the Golden Light Cerebella, whose name I cannot remember at the moment. Blitz and Glamour, that's it. So yeah, you start up with Blitz and Glamour, you get your timeless immunity, you switch into Inner Pieces to conserve the buff, and then you switch from Inner Pieces to Formidable to have her with unlimited precision. And once you have unlimited precision, you basically do Fiber Upper, Elgato, and then, you know, maybe a little, maybe after that, if you don't want to spend too much on, if you don't want to invest too much coinage into special move cooldown, you can have for your 4th and 5th move another Fiber Upper and another Elgato. So yeah, 2 Fiber Uppers, 3 Elgatos, and you can definitely make her work by jumping through some hoops. So yeah, even if she doesn't end up being absolutely broken, the worst, she is a very fun variant to mess around with. And for final variant we have Mike Star. So Mike Star has very beautiful, absolutely totally breathtaking card art. Her signature ability, Boosted Blows, is that if none of her blockbusters are fully charged, she will gain Enrage, and for a couple of seconds obviously, and blockbuster 5% blockbuster mirror every 3 seconds when she's not blocking. Not only that, but she will also gain barrier and inflict curse for 15 seconds each whenever she uses a blockbuster. And also, when she is benefiting from enrage, she has a 3% chance to instantly defeat the opponent if their HP is below a certain percentage. But yeah, she seems very solid, but the second part of her second signature ability is a little bit redundant if you ask me, because she has so much attack already, plus she also has an enrage, so she probably could do with something else. So yeah, if all else fails, then she's at least a power creep version of Toad Warrior, so you can safely invest in her and do what Toad Warrior already does, but better. Now we got one of the biggest changes to Skullgirls' mobile economy in recent memory. It is the Shard Exchange Store, and as the name suggests, here you can exchange your golden and diamond shards for one specific fighter. You can also convert your already existing regular golden and diamond relics to shards at a 1-per-1 ratio. So I originally had a whole rant planned out about some stuff that they said, because when a new event fighter is released nowadays, you have to wait 9 whole months for them to be available via normal play. But that's a thing of the past. Now you only have to wait 3 months. Yeah, yay! Now the prices may appear a little bit steep, but you have to keep in mind that you're pretty much paying a premium price because you're getting exactly what you want, instead of having to rely on RNG. For the price of 5 random diamonds, you can get one specific one, Brass Bandit, for the time being. Same thing with the golden one, Green Reaper, only 5 golden fighters. So in layman's terms, if you want to get a specific gold, you'll have to spend 5 other gold fighters per se, or 125 silver fighters. If you want to get a diamond character, you have to spend either 5 diamond characters, 125 golden characters, or 625 silver characters. And don't even get me started on the bronzes. But yeah, all in all, this is a good change. Hopefully they get the prices get a little bit reduced in the future. Also, in my opinion at least, this is only worth it if you fall into either one of these scenarios. So buy them if the variant in question is absolutely bonkers, just like Green Reaper, or if the variant in question will let you complete your collection. In my case, Brass Bandit absolutely does, so I'm gonna buy both of these guys. But I'm gonna wait as long as possible, since I'm hoping the prices are gonna be adjusted. And as you can already see, I already made use of this feature by buying all previously available golds. I didn't buy the diamonds because although I have almost 30,000 shards, I do believe they're a little bit expensive. And if I end up buying them, I could have gotten all of them, and then this big event, and then another one, but after that I would have been out of diamond shards. So yeah, as I said, pretty expensive, pretty much only for end and late game players, otherwise you don't really need to worry about this. We also got replays, but as usual, whenever they introduce a new non-gameplay mechanic, it doesn't work. So let's talk about this once they are finally fixed, because nowadays it's worthless. Look at this. That's not what happened. Anyway, let's just keep on moving, keeping on. This update also introduced the big band rework/revamp, but I already made a video discussing that, so if you wanna take a look at that, you can, well, take a look at the video. So I guess I'll leave the link down in the description or something. So we are once again back in the fighter catalog, because now we gotta talk about the spotlight of the update, which is more fighter adjustments. The last fighter adjustment patch, I believe it was like a whole year, or maybe even 2 years ago, but that is besides the point. So let's just take a look at what has changed, and be sure to buckle up, because it sure is a lot. So let's begin with the bronzes, and by bronzes I mean literally one bronze, because she's the only one who got changed. Hellcat Misfortune. Her signature ability number 1 got a rework. Now she will gain enrage after a couple of seconds have passed, while she is above a certain 50% health. This timeless enrage will be removed whenever she drops 50% health. Signature ability number 2 remains the same, but also her base stats got adjusted. Now she has higher HP and a higher attack stat, base attack stats. Now what do we know about her new ability? Okay, number 1, it's sort of a buff. Number 2, she is now susceptible to both cripple and buff removal. And finally, boop or bop or whatever her Marquette signature ability, her second Marquette ability is supposed to be pronounced like, has now become completely worthless on her. We also got Robocopy, which once again got reverted back to what he used to do before he got changed, revamped, or whatever. Yeah, now his signature ability, it has become once again, once per match, whenever he suffers a hit that will be fatal, he gains armor and barrier. The armor lasts for 10 seconds, while the barrier is timeless. And also, whenever he defeats an opponent, he gets 2 stacks of enrage for 30 seconds and some blockbuster meter. I have no idea why they keep changing this guy. Just keep him consistent for forever. Stop changing him. He doesn't deserve it. Tomb and Gloom got an overall buff because now she can also inflict quietus, and she can do so when she uses a blockbuster or a special move. And whenever she uses a blockbuster, she will also gain 1 stack of evasion for a couple of seconds. Her second signature ability remains absolutely worthless, so she is still trash. She's just a little bit less trash. Big Top got a big buff. Her old signature ability number 2 got merged into the first one, and she also got a brand new second signature ability, obviously, which is whenever a fighter gets knocked down, she will remove 1 debuff from herself and also gain heavy regen. This is a buff, obviously, but it's also not going to take us back to the old days when the best defensive team was 3 Big Top Cerebrales, so I don't really worry about that. You don't have to worry about her. Rage Appropriate got turned into a full-on attacker. Now her signature ability number 1 will also trigger unblocked hits, and the HP threshold to trigger has been reduced significantly. Also, her signature ability number 2 got changed. Now instead of being only once per match, it will trigger whenever you reach a certain combo count. So yeah, now she seems good enough. At the very least, you know, for price base, she's gonna be a solid pick because 5 stacks of enrage never hurt anyone. 5 stacks of permanent enrage, may I add. Windswept got nerfed / adjusted because her first signature ability will now only trigger on the first combo hit when you are counter-attacking. And now the permanent precision on her second signature ability will be removed whenever the opponent is knocked down. And as usual, the writing is inconsistent with other signature abilities, so the opponent has to be knocked down, and then as they get him back up, you will lose your permanent precision. Instead of being, you know, the second they get knocked down, like Dream Band or what's her name? Dress Chick. I honestly don't believe she deserved to be nerfed or adjusted, whatever. Especially because we are in a critless meta. Well, whatever, they really want to sell you that Hex Caliber Dahlia. Ultraviolent got completely changed. Now her first signature ability will only trigger on the projectile hits, but it will grant you with both Deadeye and Barrier for up to 15 seconds. Her second signature ability also got changed. Now the extra damage on projectiles will trigger as long as you're benefiting from Deadeye, and it also has a chance to grant you haste. Runner! She finally became usable! Her first signature ability will now grant you Final Stand for 15 seconds and inflict permanent death mark on the opponent when your health drops below a certain percentage. And while you're benefiting from Final Stand, you get a chance on hit to gain Timeless Enrage, and also 50% of all the damage that you deal will be regained back as health. So very powerful. Now she most likely gain a spot to be used as a Rift attacker. So Private Dick also got changed. Now his blockbusters will also deal bonus damage against stunned opponents, pretty much just like Team Penny Drive used to do. And his second signature ability is now that whenever he is about to suffer a debuff, he has a chance to resist it and gain Enrage for only 8 seconds. He still seems pretty horrible, by the way, but a change is a change, so I guess that's okay. G.I. Jazz also merged his whole signature abilities, and his brand new second signature ability is now that whenever his health is above a certain percentage, he will gain one permanent stack of armor. Funny thing is, it used to be 2 permanent stacks of armor. For some reason they didn't think this through. But this version of G.I. Jazz only lasted for like 1 week or something before it got nerfed. So yeah, the devs do listen, and they sometimes work. So credit where credit is due. Materia Girl now became a full-on attacker. Her star power meter gain got nerfed, but will now trigger whenever either fighter is hit. So that means you can trigger your signature ability whenever you're pummeling your opponent. Her second signature ability also got changed and now is more attack oriented. So whenever you're in star power mode, you gain permanent precision, permanent deadeye, or permanent haste. Not all 3 of them, only one at a random. So yeah, at worst, she's just a fun character to play. Title Traveler or Travelier. I don't know why Traveler is normally spelled with 2 L's, but this lady over here only is spelled with 1 L. I have no idea why. As you can probably tell, English is not my forte, so don't quote me on this. Yeah, whatever. Her signature ability also got changed. Now she will gain immunity for a couple of seconds whenever she hits someone with a puddle. And as an umbrella, you'd pretty much be doing this regardless of which variant you're playing. Her second signature ability will now also disable opponent blockbusters on top of what I already did before. So all in all, this is a good buff. You know, immunity is still very super omega hyper strong, so immunity based fighters are always good to have. And for the final gold that got changed is Time Thief Misfortune. She got buffed, and now her first signature ability will also grant her with haste. That's it. That's the whole change. Sure, I mean, what the hell. Now for the diamonds, you know, the heavy dish, the main dish. And first we have Star Spanker. Before, she used to be, in my own words, the only stun-based fighter that was worth a damn. But now she got that stripped from her. Her signature ability number 1 will now grant barrier and inflict the opponent with guard break for a couple of seconds whenever she breaks or she lands a throw. And while she's benefiting from barrier and the opponent is hit while airborne, she gets a chance to inflict them with bleed and fatigue. So for whatever reason, they decided to turn her into a bleeder. Okay, Heart of Darkness also got buffed. Now whenever she triggers her first signature ability, she will also remove all the opponent buffs that they're currently benefiting from. But her second signature ability got revamped or reworked, whatever. Now whenever she defeats an opponent who is suffering from a debuff, she will gain 3 stacks of miasma and inflict the next opponent, the opponent that tags in, with 3 random debuffs. And in my opinion, she is still in a very weird spot. But then again, 3 stacks of miasma could maybe be good, but the 3 random debuffs, maybe you get 3 wordless debuffs. I don't know, she seems a little bit sucky, at least on paper. Now, a personal favorite, Starshine. She got turned for some reason, and at least in my opinion, she got turned into a defensive character. Because although her first signature ability will now trigger even faster than before, the permanent precision will now only be gained after facing the same opponent for a certain amount of time. You know, just like her first signature ability. And this precision will be removed as soon as she defeats an opponent. I may need to run a few tests with her, but yeah, once again, I do believe she became a very weird defensive character, maybe even like a hybrid. I don't really know. I don't really like this. I prefer the older one. Just make the precision gain a little bit faster and that's it. Now Megalomaniac, a fan favorite, but I don't really like her. Whatever. We're not talking about me, we're talking about her. Now whenever she gains her permanent precision, she will also gain a stack of evasion for 10 seconds. And the permanent armor will now only be removed when her opponent is the one who uses a blockbuster. Her second signature ability also got changed because now it will no longer do damage but will still stun your opponent, and she will also drain blockbuster mirror every couple of seconds. And last but not least, we finally got to Death Wish Umbrella. She finally got nerfed. Finally! It only took them like 2 or 3 years or 7 years, I don't know. I don't care how long it took them. The good thing is that she finally got nerfed. After all my pleas, all my cries for help, her second ability will no longer grant her miasma under any circumstances, and also the health recovery effect on her teammates got nerfed by a 50%. Not a 50 whole percent, but it used to be 50%, now it's only up to 25%. That is a huge blow to Death Wish Umbrella mains, but they probably can't even read, so it doesn't really matter that they are suffering. I almost forgot, to top it up, her base HP got nerfed by a whooping 300 points. I saved the best for last. Dealbreaker Peacock got a buff to her HP by a whooping 300 points. Yeah, but I don't know, I don't write this, I just read it. We are almost done here. We just gotta talk about the Skullgirls mobile hub, which is pretty much just another way for them to gather your data. A few changes to the Cabinet of Curiosities, which is that Scaregiver, Primal Prodigy, and Demon Artist got added at a premium price of, 5,000 skill points, and Psychic, Final Fang, and Red Rider got their price reduced to the standard 2,500 skill points. Also, all the previously monthly exclusive fighters, which are Scaregiver, Foot Soldier, Primal Prodigy, Demon Artist, Bombshell, and Web Crawler, they got added to standard relics. Now we got a little bit of bad news because we also got a little bit of bad news because both Daily Relics and Take a Break Relics got removed from the relic page or whatever. The Daily Relic will now only be available whenever you claim your daily free gift from the store, but the Take a Break Relic got completely removed. Well, not completely removed, but you can no longer get them from anywhere. They are no longer acquirable, so I'm probably never gonna open those 524 relics that I have, because where else could I get 2,000 coins, 10 elemental shards, and a silver move? It's a sad day for relic hoarders. They really will hate the relic hoarders, don't they? We'll finish off with some small changes. Whenever you bind your account via a login method, you can claim a one-time per company, I guess, reward of 200 Theonite. As I said, they really want your data now. You can now also choose between the 3 different menu musics that the game has to offer. Now, I personally play the game without music, without any sort of sound on, so it doesn't really concern me. Oh, my burrito is ready. Also, the double catalyst that I just realized I don't own. Yeah, her catalyst, corrosive element, finally got nerfed. Now it will only trigger whenever your opponent or whenever you are either at an elemental advantage or at an elemental disadvantage. So you can pretty much use a neutral element fighter and just disregard this catalyst entirely. Finally, Silver Court, Egron Moto, and Solid Grinder should no longer be considered hits on their initial hit, and now be fully considered grabs and throws, respectively. No, not respectively. Yeah, now they should only be considered grabs and throws. This means that you can safely use them to hit unflinching opponents or a dashing big band. So yeah, that was definitely a mouthful. But that is gonna be everything for today. Thank you all so much for watching if you did, and remember that life is full of entries, so don't feel overbread. Ciao ciao. And I think I wanted to do something else, but I can't really recall what I wanted to do, so I'm just gonna pretend nothing ever happened and keep on keeping on. But I do have a meeting with the dev team. They are considering to give me a job, so now I have to work as hard as them so that they can see me as one of their own and, give me a job with them or something. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and train to become part of the team, part of them. I'll leave you with the training montage. As I already said, this was DoctorAinz. Thank you all so much for watching if you did. I guess I'll see you when I see you. Ciao ciao. Remember, life is about interest, so don't feel on breads. Ciao ciao now for real.